socially. Another major problem that we have is obesity. The Quran, and this is in all our traditions because gluttony is one of the deadly sins, but it reminds people, eat and drink, but not to excess. God loves not the extravagant wasters. And one of the signs of the latter days, according to our tradition, is يَظْهَرُ فِيهِمْ السِّمَنُ, that obesity would become manifest. These are the average BMIs around the globe. You can see Africa and a lot of Asia. The Asians don't eat a lot of the food we eat. They're still on traditional diet. So China is behind other places, even though they're becoming rapidly a serious industrial nation. But they still eat cosmologically. If you look at Chinese food, one of the things about Chinese medicine, which I studied, and my sister's an acupuncturist, and one of the things I always thought that they lacked diet. They never talk about diet. If you go to a Chinese doctor, they don't focus on diet. And at a certain point, I realized it's because in their culture, they didn't need to. People just simply ate well by the very nature of the food they consumed. These are the world's fattest countries. We're number 2. So Americans are proud of being number 1. But Kuwait takes that. So there's McDonald's. In Arabic, the Golden Arches. As you come into Mecca, the first thing you see is the Golden Arches. So it's a very troubling sight for me. But this is the civilization that we're living in, where on the one hand we've got this incredible scarcity, and on the other hand we have this overconsumption. It's just so imbalanced. And there's a tradition that we have from our Prophet that a believer will not go to bed satiated knowing his neighbor is hungry. And that's any neighbor of any faith. Diabetes is a really important problem now that's globally. This is extraordinary what's happening. But I want to point out, in traditional cosmology, what happens inside of us happens outside of us. If you want to know why the oceans are acidic, it's because we're becoming acidic. Literally, we are becoming acidic. The world manifests our states, and that's why knowing our states is so important, because how we are, how we behave, what we do, all of this is going to be reflected in the world. The macrocosm can only reflect the microcosm. And so the acidosis of the oceans is related to the acidic levels that are happening. People are moving away from the natural state, which is an alkaline state, and moving towards an acidic state. And this is what happens when, by 2050, 1/3 of Americans will have diabetes at current rates. And if you look, there's a relationship between carbohydrates and hydrocarbons. There's a relationship chemically. So you're dealing, what we're using, oil is like sugar. We're giving the earth diabetes. It's becoming acidic. Our soil is becoming acidic, and our oceans are becoming acidic because we're using cheap energy. Sugar is a very quick energy for our bodies. Oil is a very quick, easily digested energy for our machines and for heating our homes. And so this results in this acidic state. And this is what diabetic acidosis is related, as far as this is my belief, that it's related to the acidic state of the planet. Another major problem, the UN estimates there are more slaves today than any other time in human history.